Hi, everybody. I'm back for another movie review, and this time I'm going to review probably one of the wildest and most insane animated films I've ever seen in my life. And this film, of course, is Redline. Redline is a animated action thriller, animated racing film that came out back, I would say, in 2009, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 2009, well, says here the package design was 2011. It says here 2010. So yeah, 2010. So this movie is just. So where do I start? Like I said, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just messing around with the. All right. Let's see here. Oh, give me a second here. Let me turn the light. Oh my god, that's way better. Sorry. Yeah, it's starting to get dark. All right. So basically, Redline is. Yeah, it's basically the biggest and most deadly racing tournament in the entire universe. Held every 5 years. Once held every 5 years, everyone wants to stake their claim to fame. That is including this guy here named JP, who's basically a racer who is an absolute daredevil, oblivious to speed limits with his ultra customized car, and all the while, organized crime and militaristic governments want to leverage the race to their own ends. And basically, JP is literally working with, apparently he owes money to a mobster, so basically they're in payment and retaliation, they're forcing him to literally lose races, almost. So amongst the other elite rival drivers in their own tournament, JP falls for the alluring Sonashi, who he has a bit of a history with. Apparently a history she may not know, basically, not only do they become sort of like in a way rivals, but they also kind of become a bit of a couple themselves because he, like I said, because of a little bit of a history. They both end up qualifying for the Redline race, which is, like I said, the biggest one, and they're holding it on this planet called Robo World, where apparently the heads of Robo World are just irritated that the racers have picked their home planet to be the site for the massive race. So basically, they will do whatever it takes to end these racers' lives. So basically, not only is the final race, the wildest one ever, but it literally turns into an absolute war zone. And all I gotta say about the movie is that this movie is like, take like some of the craziest racing films ever. This movie is like Speed Racer, Death Race 2000. Like I said, pretty much every major racing film you can think of, throw it into a blender, put some Japanese anime in, and behold, and when I say Speed Racer, I'm talking both the live action movie and the animated series too. So it's a combination of all those. So imagine if and also throw in F-Zero and Mario Kart, and you would get Redline. This movie is just an absolute pure adrenaline rush from beginning to end. Literally. This movie is just pure insanity. One of the wildest and most insane animated films I've ever seen in my entire life. The final race in the movie is like a war zone on top of a freaking war zone. Literally. That's how insane this movie really is. The animation style is definitely unlike anything I've ever seen. It definitely feels like I'm watching a video game come to life almost, with the animation style that it has. It feels like I'm watching, anime style cutscenes in like, modern, what you would probably see in modern day video games. That's pretty much what Redline really is. Redline was directed by a filmmaker named I'm trying to find his name here. He's got a... Where's that? Producer... Director. That's it. Takashi Kioke. I've never heard of this guy before, but apparently Redline wasn't exactly a moderate hit when it debuted. Unfortunately, there were I'm not familiar with this guy's other works, but unfortunately the The movie, unfortunately, was not a major hit when it debuted, but in the years that followed, the movie gradually turned into a huge cult favorite among anime fans. And there's still a few that have yet to discover this movie, and yet the movie actually did get some rather decent praise, like Harry Knowles of Ain't It Cool News, obviously saying Redline should not be missed. What does it say? Anime News Network called it the most insanely exciting, visually exhilarating anime film you've seen in decades. Incredible fun, and I'm honestly inclined to agree with what I've seen. I mean, literally, I'm actually. I definitely got to thank my friend Will for introducing me to this wild and crazy, adrenaline-fueled thrill ride of a movie, because this movie's got it all. When it comes to some of the best racing films ever made, Redline definitely has it. And when it comes to the plot, I mean, there's really not much, but this is a film where really it's really all about, a bunch of racers trying to get into a race, and basically just, they're all doing it for basically their egos almost. JP's doing it because, he's got nothing left to lose, and he wants to get away from the mob. Sanashi, she just wants to prove her worth, that she can actually race because, very few female drivers can. But in the end, though, like I said, it's really all about who wants it more. And it's really, like I said, plot-wise, like the movie really, I mean, when it comes to a movie like this, the visuals really just bring the film out full circle almost. The visuals are what really make this film come together. And believe me, this movie has plenty packed into it. It's definitely one of those films that definitely needs like multiple viewings if you want to like check every single detail that you can see in this movie, because this movie's got a lot of it. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the Blu-ray here real fast. The Blu-ray was released by Anchor Bay. Yep. And manga. But I will say, anyway, let's go and check out the inside. Yeah, inside here is the Blu-ray. And here's, I love this little sleeve thing, because I actually got this when I got the movie on Blu-ray. Comes with this little $3 off for the 35th anniversary Blu-ray of Wizards, which I already did a review for. And I was really tempted to bring it out here and be like, oh yeah, you mean this, by the way? But alas. Let's see if there's anything else here. I don't know why this sleeve is in here, because this is like an order for something that it expired like over a decade ago. I don't know why it's still in there, but so yeah, here's the Blu-ray. As you can see, it's in excellent shape. As for the video quality on the disc, honestly, Redline is presented in widescreen 178x1, and honestly, Redline looks phenomenal in high def. Oh my lord, this movie looks amazing. Detail galore. I could definitely tell Anchor Bay put a lot of effort into the Blu-ray of the movie. Also, I watched it on DVD, and again, the DVD looked amazing, but yeah, the Blu-ray just destroys the DVD exponentially. It just wipes it out perfectly. The animation is phenomenal. The animation, well, yeah, it has a bit of a crude style to it, but for a movie with an animation style like this, it comes out perfectly. The racing scenes are amazing. A lot of detail, a lot of crazy stuff. This movie is just packed full of such incredible detail. Lots of it to be found in the movie. So I would say out of 5 stars, the video quality on the Redline gets a solid 5 out of 5. As for the audio is presented in 2 flavors. The English and Japanese tracks have 2 different versions. There's the True HD 5.1 and the English regular Dolby Surround 2.0. The Japanese track obviously has subtitles, so. And again, I prefer to listen to the English track because the way I see it when it comes to the Japanese track, it's really hard to read the subtitles and to try to focus on what you're seeing on the screen. But unless you don't understand the English language, unless you're Japanese and you don't understand, not really into the English language so much, then yeah, the Japanese track still serves its purpose very well. And it does. It does serve its purpose very well. And it sounds as strong as the English track does too, but no doubt. But yeah, the audio, again, the detail, I mean, like the sound effects are great. The explosions, which are plenty of in the movie. The car chase, the car racing scenes, the tires screeching, everything. The engines roaring. everything. You can hear all the great details, and even the dialogue comes out very well too. Sometimes I am tempted to put on the Japanese audio track because at least you can see the subtitles and see what the characters are actually saying. Because there are some occasions where you're trying to figure out what are the characters saying. But at least when it comes to the dubbing, they actually did manage to get the dubbed voices into the characters' lips like pretty well, actually. And I've noticed they've been doing that better with later animation titles, where they've actually managed to put the dubbing into the characters' lips much better, unlike the older anime stuff where, you can clearly see it's dubbed. But still, they do a great job with trying to translate, the dialogue to, from Japanese to English. And I think they do a good job of that. And Redline definitely does it very well. So out of 5 stars, as for the audio, it also gets a 5 out of 5. The movie not only sounds good, but it looks as good as it sounds as good as it looks. As for bonus features, there's not really a lot on here. Basically, there's just 3 main things. We get a perfect guide to Redline, which is basically, it's a massive documentary that runs about a little over an hour long, and it's a comprehensive look at the making of the film. Quick, loads of detail to be found there. Quick guide to Redline, it's basically a documentary that runs almost a half hour long, but again, it's also a pretty decent look at the movie itself. And also included is the trailer. It says 2006, so I'm assuming that was the when the movie was planning to be released, so they probably released the trailer for it, or maybe it sat on the shelves because it says here that it was released in 2010. So maybe it sat for 4 years, maybe they couldn't find, a company to distribute the film or whatnot, but either way, and it was finally released on Blu-ray and DVD in 2011, and Anchor Bay picked it up. Once again, this is probably an instance where the extras are all about quality over quantity. And what's on here, though, like I said, the documentaries are definitely, if you're a huge fan of the movie, yeah, these features are definitely worth a watch. I mean, you're talking about almost an hour and a half worth of material here on the making of the film, which honestly is not too shabby. I mean, it's just 3 small features, but again, it's all about quality over quantity. So I would say out of 5 stars, the extras, I would say I'd probably give it a 3 maybe out of 5, because again, like I said, I mean, these two documentaries in total add up to almost an hour and a half, maybe more, of behind the scenes on the making of this film. They basically go deep into, the animation process, obviously interviews with the filmmakers, talking about, finding the right, working on the story, coming up with the concept of the animation and the story and the racing scenes and and even the character development too. Even the designs of each of the characters, which, like I said, the racers themselves are, I mean, like I said, I mentioned that this movie is like a combination of all the things I've said. Like, it's literally Death Race 2000, Speed Racer, Mario Kart, F-Zero, and another one I should have mentioned is a little touch of Fast and the Furious, especially with JP's older model design car, compared to all the other wild-looking vehicles that you will see in the movie, or for people that have yet to see Redline. Yeah, this movie is everything, and the designs of each of the racers, like I said, it's like something out of F-Zero for some of the later games. Like JP is like, he's like, Captain Falcon of F-Zero. And all the other characters are like, these weird-looking alien-like characters and creatures. And it's like insane what you see in the movie. But again, it's a lot of fun. All I gotta say about Redline is, yeah, I'm basically gonna agree with Harry Knowles here. It should not be missed. This is one movie that is just a pure adrenaline rush from beginning to end, and one of the wildest anime films I've ever seen in my life. Bottom line, the Blu-ray by Anchor Bay here, you can actually get pretty cheap off of Amazon. You can get it for $12 brand new, so you're not breaking your wallet open too deep by getting a copy of it. But honestly, if you're a huge anime fan, this is one, if you have yet to see Redline, this is one you should not avoid. Definitely watch it. As for people that have yet to see Redline, if you're looking for a pure adrenaline rush of a film, this is the movie for you. The Blu-ray is a top-notch disc. Video and audio are both amazing. Extras, while there's not a lot, are definitely, like I said, quality over quantity. So again, the extras are pretty decent, and they go deep into the film. So honestly, this is actually a well-rounded out Blu-ray by Anchor Bay. Definitely a solid one to pick up. Definitely one that anime fans will gobble up in no time at all. But if you're new to anime, this is actually not a bad one to check out. Redline is actually a lot of fun. Highly recommended. So, and again, I really do apologize that I couldn't. I would really love to show footage from the movie. I really would, because this is, again, a movie that, you know, like I said, the visuals just, even what you see on the case here, this doesn't even do the film justice. Like, if I were to show, I wish I could show footage from the movie, but again, I don't own the rights, but still, I really wish I could. But either way, if you haven't seen it, it is highly recommended. So, this concludes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel if you like this content. So, until then, take care and be safe.